It's a beautiful Friday evening. The weekend is here. For those of you who work Monday through Fridays, the weekend is here. Those who work night shift, your weekend don't start till after midnight. But those work from 8 a.m. to about 5, the weekend is here. But I want to talk about they rejected God over and over again 4 years ago. I'm talking about the conservatives. They rejected God numerous times about 4 or 5 years ago. Let's go back down memory lane. Y'all remember when all these so-called prophets and prophetess said God told them that Donald Trump was going to win a second term? God told them Donald Trump going to be re-elected, such. But when the elections happened and Donald Trump lost, did they accept what had happened? No, they didn't. A lot of these conservative Christians that went publicly endorsing Trump and pushing Trump and lying on God in favor of Trump, they still, right to this day, didn't accept the results. Right today, they still don't acknowledge that Donald Trump lost. A few of them came out and said they missed it. A few of them never said anything. They didn't apologize. They didn't say. Paula White, she was one of them, one of the number one. I think she's supposed to be one of Donald Trump's spiritual advisors. We all remember the clips of her going back and forth in the pulpit and some guy walking behind her, and she had resulted to calling dark angels, doing all sorts of witchcraft to try to get some type of miracle that would stop the election process, which Donald Trump had lost. They wanted something that happened that would overturn, delay, or anything. They wouldn't accept that Donald Trump lost. Some of them, like I said, some of them came out and said they missed it. Some of them ain't said nothing. If God told y'all that Donald Trump was going to win the elections, ain't nothing in the world would have stopped God. Y'all saying God would stop? That's why I don't believe in no so-called prophet or prophetess of the day. Whatever I need to know, and I need a word from God, I can get it out the scriptures, because Hebrews 1:1 tells me that. God taught through the prophets in sundry time. Before Christ came, God spoke directly through the prophets to our fathers. After Christ came, God spoke to us through his son, which was written in the scriptures through the apostles, and the apostles wrote the scriptures. You don't believe in them? You don't believe in prophets of today? Yeah, I believe that it's a possibility, but I also know what the Bible say about what these false prophets would do. And I also know what the Bible says about God issuing those gifts. See, it don't come automatic. If you read, I think it's 1 Corinthians, around 12th chapter, when Apostle Paul talking about the gifts, Paul says, seek out these gifts, speaking in tongues, interpretation of tongues, healing and stuff like that, etc., etc. But Paul told them that, like these talked about all the different gifts. He did say God is the one that would give them how he see fit. In this perverted world, where everybody running around talking about they're a prophet and they're a prophetess, and you see how they try to use the Bible to exploit the Bible and exploit God and con people. So you think God gonna give his gift in this perverted world? Everything we really need to know and what's coming can be found in the scriptures. I don't need no prophet of a prophetess to stand me up in a prophetic line where I got to pay them 50. Well, you can cut out 50, 500, 1,000, 1,500, $2,000 line. You get a prophecy according to the money you got. I don't need them to tell me that God want me to have a house. God said I'm gonna have a Bentley. God said I'm gonna have so much money if I do this, if I do that, if I do this. I got to pay y'all first. I don't believe that. That's why the Bible say God, he know how to administrate his gift. You think God gonna send his gift into this perverted world? This is what they do. They use this. They would use God's gift and exploit it for their selfish deeds, gain. They will exploit them gifts, and that's exactly what's going on in this world. They rejected God over and over again. They rejected the elections. They rejected that Joe Biden won. They pushed that lie behind Donald Trump. They supported him in pushing that lie, talking about the voting machines that he would cheated in Georgia and all the other states. Didn't have a shred of evidence. The people say, yeah. Some people voted that are deceased. But the man said that same amount of people vote every election. So it wasn't enough to give you this. It wasn't enough of dead people voting or disqualified people voting that would cause you to lose the election. You lost by a large margin. That the people in 14 counties, the Democrats showed up and voted. You lost 14 counties. The Republicans in Georgia had to come out and admit it. Yeah, he lost. Secretary of State, Republicans, they admitted. They gave Trump his chance to provide and present evidence that he was cheated in Georgia. He never did. He did this. He tried the same tactics in Arizona, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. He lost. He never presented any evidence. Okay, fast forward to the inauguration. Mike Pence come into play. What did they do to Mike Pence? I'm talking about the Christian conservatives now. Mike Pence is a man of God. He never hid it. Mike Pence loved God. I was leaning toward voting for Mike Pence if he ran for president. I'm a Democrat, but I'm kind of like an independent. I like Mike Pence simply because he was the closest thing that I know to God being holy. Him and Donald Trump fell out with each other long before the elections. Mike Pence wanted out way before re-election time came. They persuaded him to stay on and run for a re-election with Trump. Mike Pence had been wanted out. He got fed up with Donald Trump. I told my wife, I said, that's not a good idea. This man is a man of God. He taking his position under an ungodly man. It ain't gonna be nothing but conflict. It's not like you getting up and going to work and punching the clock every day and going home. That type of job, it takes much more than just standing on the assembly line or riding up and down the highway or doing plumbing and doing extermination. Y'all are making world decisions. Y'all are leading the country. Y'all are diplomats. You got a man of God gonna take a back seat to a devil? It ain't gonna be nothing but trouble. Not too long after they got elected the first time, we started to see this stuff. Trump was pushing people out of there. Trump was doing all sorts of stuff. Mike Pence was looking at this stuff, trying to be inspiration to him. Trump wasn't trying to hear that stuff about God. Trump had a reputation of cursing folks out, disrespecting people, going off on people, having them tantrums, them temper tantrums. John Kelly didn't last long. Everybody that wanted to try to work with Trump didn't last long. Only somebody that lasted was Mike Pence, but he wanted out. They forced him to stay in there. Okay, let's go to the certification of the votes. These same people that are hollering they Christians, they love the Lord, they all this, they all out. What did they do to Mike Pence when he got ready to certify them votes? What did they do to him after he certified the votes? They labeled him a rhino. They called him a traitor. They called the man everything but a child of God. Right to this day, I bet you, Bishop Patrick Wooden, all these black conservatives, white conservatives, sit them down at the table and talk about Mike Pence and what he did and find out how do they feel about Mike Pence and what did they say about him 5 years ago. Has any of them issued that man an apology? Has any of them came out and said he was right? I'm talking about the Christian conservatives now. I'm talking about those who's supposed to know better, who's supposed to know the way of God. Ask them about this. This recent, this very relevant stuff. They rejected God. They rejected God many times in the last few years. But suddenly they want us to believe they are a holy bunch. They want us to believe Donald Trump is the golden chosen one after he done rejected God so many times. A reprobated mind, the Bible talks about that. They always want to try to find scriptures to make Trump look good. But what about a reprobated mind? Trump ain't never been saved. He done been in a place where he done heard the gospel over and over and over many times before. The Bible say the day you hear The day you hear my voice, harden not your heart. Anytime you don't heard the gospel, if you didn't accept the gospel and be born again, you rejected God at that point. We're supposed to believe now, after this miracle that's supposed to happen. He survived an attack. He survived an assassination attempt. Now we're supposed to believe that he's anointed. This is what they are saying, though. God must have saved him for a reason. He put his life on the line. Wonder why none of his family is never behind him at them rallies. The man got a pretty large extended family. Y'all ever see his people behind him at them rallies? Where are they at? If they there, they in a secure place. But then y'all want to talk about how many people that show up to Donald Trump rallies versus Biden. Donald Trump even made reference to that. You can tell I won the election just about the size of the people of my rallies. He said that. Since when did rallies judge the elections? Since when did we start judging the winner of elections by the number of people at their rallies? Why Donald Trump people is never in the stands behind him when he up there speaking at them rallies? They're not finna put them. They're not finna put their people, their family, in harm's way, especially at them outdoor events. Why Donald Trump didn't opt to have a bulletproof shield up there? You cannot afford to take any chances when you're a political figure, president, stuff like that. They get assassinated all the time. But they rejected God over and over again. Just a few years ago, Bishop Patrick Wooden, Candace Owen, all them who claim to be men and women of God, sit them down and talk about this. Ask them how do they feel about Mike Pence. Did any of them ever come out and apologize to Mike Pence? The man said, I got to stand with God, my convictions. I cannot go with Trump knowing that it's not right. Did they respect that decision? Did they accept that? No, they didn't. They labeled the man a rhino and a traitor. So they clearly rejected God for the devil. But now they want us to believe that Donald Trump is a man of God, and they know what holy is. Ask the talking heads on social media for the Republic. Ask them to talk about this, folks. They ain't trying to talk about that. They don't want to have nothing to say about Mike Pence. Because they know they're going to get caught up. You can't holler you're a Christian, man or woman of God, and you holding bitterness and resentment against this man simply because he chose God and what was right over politics. Yeah, they rejected God. January the 6th. A lot of these same so-called Christians, conservative preachers, leaders, they wanted that man gone. They were hoping that they got to that man. They wanted Mike Pence gone. Did anybody on the right come out and say that they were wrong for that? It was wrong. They was wrong. They sorry. Did Trump come out and say he was wrong? He was sorry? it was wrong. You ain't gonna get that out of them conservatives. You don't get that out of Marcus Rogers, Candy Owen, Brandon Tatum's, all the talking heads on the conservative side. They don't want to talk about that. They already tried to put that on that Tifa. But them people still getting locked up. Them people still getting sentenced to prison. And all of them are Republicans. They tried to throw that off on that Tifa. They ain't had nothing to do with it. Them were hardcore Trump supporters. They went up there with the intentions of overthrowing the government and getting rid of Mike Pence permanently. They label him a rhino. All these so-called Christian conservative preachers and whatever, they don't want to talk about Mike Pence. They ain't gonna issue that man no type of apology. He will be forever. He will be forever labeled a traitor to the day he died. But they want us to believe that they so holy and Donald Trump is holy. I'm not going to promote nobody. I'm just here to tell the truth. I got my preference who I might vote for. I might vote for her. I might not. But it's not because I'm dependent on a president or here and there. It's going to be all because I don't like Trump. They want us to forget about this man rap sheet all these years. They want us to forget about all his evil deeds. They want us to forget about all the stuff all them court cases he got and trying to get them tossed out now. They want us to forget about all this. He did that. He made them beds. The media ain't got nothing to do with it. Ain't nobody responsible for Trump being in trouble but Trump. An honest man, a man of God, don't do all that. A man of God don't get himself in trouble like that and then try to go behind closed doors and get stuff tossed out on technicalities. But they want us to forget about all that. Oh, and just now Joe Biden gone. Now they beating up on Kamala Harris. We don't want Kamala Harris. We don't. It's not like you Republicans gonna vote for a Democrat, no way. So why y'all acting like y'all don't want her or a Democrat? It don't matter who the Democrats pick. It's not like y'all gonna consider voting for them anyway. But this is stuff I'm seeing. We don't want her. We don't want her. We don't want. You ain't gonna vote Democrat, no way. So why y'all acting like a Democrat pick is gonna weigh on you one way or the other? Y'all are dead set on Donald Trump. She ain't black. She ain't this. She ain't that. She ain't this. She did this. That. She did that. She did that. What Donald Trump did? She slept her way to the top. She did this. What about Donald Trump? But this is the type of game they play. This is the stuff they do. They want to throw her personal life, background out there, but then when it comes to Donald Trump, oh, it's about policies. Y'all not leaving personal attack out on her. Y'all not leaving personal attacks out on Joe Biden. Y'all didn't leave personal attacks out on Obama. But when it comes to the conservatives, personal attacks and talking about their personal life is off limits. Y'all a bunch of hypocrites. Y'all nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. Y'all conservative preachers and believers, so-called believers, y'all sit up there and drag a Democrat all day long. Ain't nothing off limits. But you don't want nobody to talk about the personal history of Donald Trump. Recent history. This man been married 3 times. Hey, Bishop Wooden, what you got to say about that? You supporting an adulterous man, 3 marriages. You supporting a crook. All you conservative white preachers, y'all supporting adultery. Y'all supporting a crook. What the Bible say about a robber, a thief, a swindler, a con artist? What the Bible say about that? Jimmy Swaggart. What the people down there in Monroe, the Duck Dynasty folks, I gave Donald Trump the gospel. He know the gospel. He know the that don't amount to nothing. They rejected God just a few years ago by way of Mike Pence. God showed us that. Y'all won't accept that it might be God's will that he wanted Biden in the office. Y'all wouldn't accept that. Y'all want what y'all want. Y'all want to dictate to God what y'all want and want the world to believe what y'all say. It don't work that way.